What are the reasons for the persistent pressure that is placed on the stock price of a company that is located at the center of a global content boom? Why does a positive momentum in the industry come into conflict with a negative behavior in the market? In today's breakdown, we take a comprehensive look at the developments in the AMC sector, the narratives in the media, the dark pool activity, and the larger financial environment that is contributing to the transformation of the future of movie theaters. The topic of discussion starts out with a significant event that occurred in the entertainment industry. The most recent animated film to be released by Disney's Zootopia 2 has managed to achieve a staggering opening worldwide of $556 million. This is significant not only because of the size of the number, but also because of the source from which this revenue is being generated. The Chinese market is becoming an increasingly important market for Hollywood movies, and Zootopia 2 is performing so well in China that the revenue from that region is surpassing the revenues from the home market. A significant reality is brought to light by this shift. The profitability model for studios is becoming more appealing as Chinese theaters begin to reopen their screens to domestic and international films. As a result of more appealing models, there are more movie releases, which is directly beneficial to exhibitors in the United States, including AMC. The remark that Zootopia 2 reinforces a long-term pattern is not a new one, but it is a noteworthy one. The number of theatrical releases is growing as more markets around the world become available. It is clear that this development is beneficial to AMC's primary business. Furthermore, AMC possesses a film distribution division, which places the corporation in a position to reap benefits not only from screenings, but also from the potential money that could be generated from distribution in the future. Structured benefits are accrued by AMC as a result of the opening of additional territories and the shift of more films toward theatrical releases, rather than streaming-first methods, moving further into the realm of media narratives. A recent piece published by The Motley Fool stated that investors should disregard AMC in 2026 and instead concentrate on looking at another theater stock. These kinds of articles, as is customary, demonstrate a hostile and unfavorable attitude toward AMC. However, a more in-depth examination uncovers significant faults in their reasoning, weaknesses that disregard the real behavior of the sector. The argument made in the article was that the expansion of video streaming platforms is the reason why AMC is having trouble. But if streaming services were actually taking the place of movie theaters, then why would Netflix continue to look for opportunities to collaborate with AMC? What are the reasons that major studios would go back to their theatrical first methods and reverse their course? Multiple prominent films that were launched directly onto streaming platforms have failed to meet the financial expectations that were set for them over the course of the past 2 years. There is a significant correlation between theatrical releases and higher returns. The story also highlighted AMC's debt, which is a subject that is frequently discussed by various media sites. Yet it did not include AMC's continuous efforts to reduce its debt, restructure its debt, or reduce its interest expenditures. On the other hand, progress that has been done is never brought to light. The American Movie Corporation, on the other hand, has successfully controlled its liabilities while functioning during one of the most difficult periods that the cinema business has ever experienced. Another important aspect of the market is disregarded in the comparison that is made between AMC and Cinemark in the article. Over 9% of AMC's total decrease for the year was accounted for by Cinemark's drop in a single trading day, which was roughly a quarter of the total. In spite of this, the Post presents Cinemark as the more secure alternative, despite the fact that the paper does not address the differences between AMC and Cinemark in terms of tokenization discrepancies, dark pool activity, and off-exchange volume. It does not acknowledge the differences. According to a number of different data sources, AMC is subject to significantly higher off-exchange traffic in comparison to its competitors, which is a factor that has a direct impact on price discovery. The increased interest in film distributors is another significant development that is leading to a transformation of the industry. Netflix is currently investigating the possibility of acquiring Warner Brothers, which is a significant move that demonstrates that streaming platforms intend to expand by entering the traditional film distribution market rather than by displacing theaters. This coincides with trends that are occurring all throughout the world. Compared to films that were initially distributed in theaters, those that were only made available on streaming services performed far worse. The AMC stands to gain directly from this observation. The amount of content that is accessible for AMC screens is gradually increasing as a result of the opening of worldwide markets and the increasing number of high-profile films that are vying for theatrical releases. In addition, given that AMC now possesses its very own distribution division, the possibility of future development into this region is becoming more and more conceivable. Now moving on to the situation in the wider financial environment. The current liquidity crunch that has been affecting global markets is becoming more and more apparent. It has been claimed that banks require liquidity in the amount of $22 billion, which has prompted authorities to release collateral reserves. The persistent emphasis placed on collateral demonstrates that pressure is increasing across a number of different institutions. Because of a lack of liquidity, institutions are compelled to make adjustments to their futures, positions, and leverage, which has an effect on how they manage their holdings across the board. The effects of financial strain are not confined to a single occurrence, despite the fact that there is no external crisis taking place at the moment. The utilization of repositories just reached 26 billion, which is the second highest level since the crisis of 2020. Through this contrast, the underlying strain that exists inside financial systems is demonstrated. Due to the fact that 40 counterparties are competing for a mere $2.5 billion in reverse repo liquidity, it appears that smaller businesses are under a great deal of pressure. When one takes into consideration the fact that hedge funds have recently been employing leverage at levels that are near record highs, the atmosphere becomes even more alarming. Instead of creating returns through the expansion of businesses, borrowing is being utilized to artificially stabilize markets and manufacture performance. The fact that several funds are running close to risk thresholds is further highlighted by regulatory talks over value at risk restrictions. Examining the most recent example of NVIDIA makes the phenomenon of market inflation even more easily discernible. AI stocks skyrocketed after the news of a rumored OpenAI deal worth $100 billion was released to the market, adding trillions of dollars to the sector's overall valuation. The chief financial officer of NVIDIA eventually confirmed that the agreement had not even been signed. This makes it quite evident that market value can increase on the basis of narratives rather than actual agreements that have been finalized. In addition to these problems, concerns over fairness and openness continue to spread. A significant company was recently penalized by the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) for failing to protect consumer information for more than a year. When combined with concerns over manipulation and the dominance of dark pools, the situation raises issues about the dependability of the market mechanisms that are already in place, according to the data that is currently accessible. On certain days, more than 80% of the trading activity for AMC happened in dark pools. Off-exchange conduct like this brings about a reduction in the discovery of true prices and a suppression of natural market movement at one time. Trading on the stock market was thought to be a way for middle-class people to achieve financial independence. Retail investors are confronted with a drastically different situation in the present day, which is characterized by inflated valuations, domination of dark pools, missing collateral, unexplained leverage increases, and a decreased level of transparency. It is at the crossroads of all of these that AMC is located. As a heritage business that is reaping the benefits of the global recovery, as a target of ongoing negative narratives, as a victim of excessive off-change activity, and as a company that is in a position to thrive as theatrical releases regain supremacy worldwide from the beginning, the conversation around AMC has always been more complicated than typical headlines. The broader context is not discussed in the articles. Even though they may highlight streaming services, debt, or decreases from one year to the next, AMC's day-to-day trading behavior is influenced by a number of factors, including expanding global markets, increased theatrical demand, shifts in distribution power, increasing studio reliance on box office revenues, and irregular market activity. Getting a better understanding of AMC entails taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture.